So I think for a lot of free-to-plays, this video is going to be important just to kind of give you guys a bit of guidance, I think, for the future, as we know the next 5 units coming out. Now, the first one is going to be Vanessa in 2 or so weeks, right? Just because, I mean, it makes sense with the kind of schedule where it seems like they wanted extra time to like produce more units and maybe game modes. So they released less units on JP while still being able to keep the schedule for global. Now, what would that mean? Vanessa comes out in 2 weeks on both global and JP at the same time, which is great. Now, with that, it brings a certain wave of uncertainty for global players. So we're going to kind of have to get into that and talk about the teams that you should be building, the units you should be getting, all depending on certain things. What units do you want to prioritize? Some units might be better than others, and we will have to see. So Vanessa's a debuffer, and she's most likely going to be a dark unit. I mean, she's coming out with Zora, and they did where Finral and Gray were both light units, but, you know, we already know how that went with Finral, but still, Finral's still going to be light, so we could imagine Vanessa is going to be dark since they want to introduce, I guess, a wave of dark units too. So as her being a debuffer and how they're building dark units, it seems like they're going to try and separate them, so just keep that in mind first of all. Now, then the next 4 units. There's going to be another Charlotte supporter, and we could see because of how crazy Ceremony Charlotte is, this is probably going to be a busted-ass Charlotte. Now, one thing that I just want to say, very cool. Yamy and Charlotte seem to have a combo together. Hold on. Yamy, yeah, this one.
I'll use my briars to finish this quickly.
Great to see you, knuckleheads.
So that's sick as hell, by the way. Which might also mean you want both Yamy and Charlotte. Okay, we don't know, but that's how they could maybe make Charlotte way better to use. Okay, and also on their own team. Okay, then there's Yamy, obviously. Then Raya, but probably between that is gonna be Black Divider, which, I mean, a lot of people are going to want to summon for. Now, because he's Chaos, if they're going off of the structure of Zora, where he wants to be run on rainbow teams, then you guys are going to have to probably get prepared for something like that with Black Divider too. So those are the 5 next units. Now, I kind of want to talk about real quick the current teams we have and how you should be approaching in the future. So number 1 is a mono red team. Usually mono red is now being ran with Gray and also with Lotus. Those are like the 2 people that are taking over, while Witch Queen and Asta are still the center. Now, this team is one that I think is more so for higher level players in my opinion, because Gray needs to be max dupe, Asta obviously max dupe, Witch Queen at least the 2 dupes, all with good gear sets, right? And it's one that's going to be pretty, like, I guess, easy to use, but still requires a good amount of investment. I feel like once you get Witch Queen's skill page up a lot, it gets even better, right? Now, another thing to mention that I'm going to kind of talk about is you're going to really have to prioritize, as of right now, probably on one team for level 125, because I don't see many people being able to get more than one team up. So you're going to have to prioritize one team now and then one team that we're going to talk about between the next 5 future units, because those 5 units, we've seen how quick they are to make new teams now, right? So those 5 units are probably going to shape up things a lot. All right, so first of all, this is it. Now, obviously, there's Valkyrie Noel. Right now, this team really consists of Charlotte, Mimosa, Valk, and then a DPS, right? So this could be either Magna, Zora, okay, Yuno, or also now, especially with the Julius buffs, Julius. Okay, these are the 4 main options. Personally, I love Magna. Okay, Magna is great, but Magna's high investment. Okay, so you're really gonna have to see, because Zora 2 is pretty high investment. Okay, so that's why if you have Yuno, you might be better off, at least for now, sticking with Yuno if you are kind of trying to build off of this team, right? This is kind of the thing that I kind of just want to mention, right? But there's a lot of options. I mean, four main options is pretty good, right? Even Julius without his new pay to win skill page is still usable. Okay, so we got Yuno, Magna, Julius, and then obviously Zora are the 4 main ones that I'm currently seeing, both in pick and ban and also a normal arena, right? So this is the second team. Now, a lot of you guys already have a lot of these units built, and Noel is probably going to stay very relevant. Now, I kind of messed that up. I said that the next 5 units, but it's going to be the next 6, because Finral should be in about a month from now. If Vanessa's in 2 weeks, Finral has to be next. Okay, reason being, they already have the paid banner files for him on global, which means he is going to be next. All right, I just want to point that out. So Finral is probably going to be a Noel supporter. All things considered, there's nothing stopping Noel from being used with another light unit. So we could imagine Finral is going to be very good for the Noel team, because as of right now, the one thing that the Noel team gets destroyed by is a cleave team. A cleave team with mono red. So if they make Finral where they can't use with, for example, more than 2 red units, or let's say Finral gets a buff when, okay, let's see. If I'm gonna say like just randomly, okay, apply the X buff when there's one or less red units. Okay, so it means you cannot use Finral with 2 red units, so you can't cleave. Okay, if they do something like that, it's gonna allow Noel to gain, and then the mono red team to not gain an extra cleave unit. So that's how they can make Finral amazing in this slot. Okay, so just imagine maybe Finral is probably going to be the supporter for Noel, because every single fest up to date has had someone to really help support, where for it was kind of Noel. So I mean, just how you look at it, right? Every unit really, every fest starting from Black Asta really had one unit to propel them into like mainstream, basically. Okay, so just want to put that out there. Now the next one is going to be Mono Green. Mono Green is still very good, okay? Very usable on global still, and on JP still amazing, okay? So just putting that out there. If you want to stick with Mono Green at least for a bit until maybe Black Divider comes out and you have these units built up, then hey, go ahead, okay? Mono Green is still a very, very viable option. Now we're going to start getting into the new teams, I guess you could say. So do we have a... There's no like SR Charlotte, so I guess we're going to put this. So where is it? Where's it? Red Charlotte is on top, isn't she? I'm just trying to find... Bro, oh my god. I hate when I go blind. I know y'all probably saw her a lot, but these are probably going to be the 3 next teams. Actually, I have to put Yamy, because my guess is if there is a combo, they're going to make it so that it's going to be a very good combo, because I don't think they're wasting any type of resources now. Do I not have red Yamy? Okay, I do. Oh, that is not red Yamy. Okay, so we got the 3 next teams, probably. Like the 3 teams that are going to be built up. Now, Vanessa. Okay, we're going to say for now Chaos debuffer. We know guaranteed it's a debuffer. I don't think Ali leaked that it was a Chaos unit, but just because they were supposed to be on the same banner, and then the way that they made both Finral and Grey Light units, I'm going to go by order of elimination that she's probably going to be Chaos. Also, reason being, because we got a red unit in Yamy and a red unit in Charlotte, so it can't be red. Okay, so just kind of want to put that out there right away. So not red. I don't think they're really going to be doing many blue units for a little bit, okay, because blue is a bit lackluster. They just buffed Julia. So it's like Chaos would make sense for Vanessa if she is a very cracked debuffer because of how they make the passives for Chaos units. If you guys haven't watched videos with Zora, basically, if all allies have different attributes, you get taunt immunity and invulnerability, okay? So because of that, we could imagine Vanessa might have a similar type of thing going on, okay, to make her very crazy, potentially, right? So because of that, we could imagine Vanessa might have her own team, or because she's a debuffer, she could maybe fit right in, right here, like in Mimosa slot. We're going to have to see how exactly it works, but she's probably going to be a unit also probably that's going to work well with either Yamy or Charlotte. But the thing is, if we're using our logic that they do have a combo together, and they're both red units, by the way, then that means they wouldn't be able to work with Chaos units if Chaos units are all built the same way where they have to be on rainbow teams, okay? Because in the files, Charlotte and Yamy are both red, alright? So keep that in mind. It's very possible that this is maybe a Kohono and Yamy situation where Kohono Giga buffs Yamy, Ceremony Yamy, right? So because of that, you're going to have to really think, which teams are you going to try and build up, right? Charlotte, new supporter Charlotte, right? So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about going for that? Do you want to go for a Vanessa? Okay, maybe. I mean, you also got to consider that you could go for Vanessa if there isn't Zora, or if you don't need Zora, because Zora, right now his main team is really with Valkyrie and Noel. That's what I've been seeing. Okay, I don't really see many other teams working too well, right? And then obviously Black Divider Asta, which a lot of people are going to want to go for. And if he's Chaos, he's probably going to have his own separate team, because it seems like Chaos tried to kind of disrupt team balance and stuff like that, right? So we'll have to see. Okay, we'll have to see. But for sure, you got one of these 3 teams right now probably that you're building up, okay, that you're using right now. And if you're not using any of these 3, let me know what you're using down below. But then in the future, you're going to have to see which units do you want to build up, which units do you think you're going to want to use with either probably Valkyrie Noel, a lot of you guys, the teams that you're building. And just kind of make sure that you're kind of sticking to one current team and one team for all the units that are about to come out. The next 6 units are probably going to make up the next 2 to 3 months of units. I'm going to say 2.5 months. So we're gonna have to hope everything goes pretty well with that, but please just understand that these are probably going to be 3 new teams that are going to start being built, obviously probably taking remnants from these 3 teams. Like we might see Witch Queen and Grey in some of these teams because they work very well with dots, put heal block, all that good stuff. We could see Mimosa, we could see Charlotte, we could see Noel, we could see any of the 4 main DPSs that are really striving right now, being Zora, obviously Julius, Magna, and are the 4 that are really showing their worth. And then, we could still see Mario in some future team comp, but just these 4 units, and then also Finral, which, we talked about a little bit. Also Finral, and then obviously Raya. Raya maybe, I don't know. Raya's kind of like that release I don't really know how to bring up because, I mean, Black Divider, we know is Chaos. Okay, so that's the first thing. We know Black Divider is Chaos. Chaos Attacker, right? Which is great. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with that. And then we know these are 2 red units, which is probably going to mean they're not going to be used with any Chaos units, and they're going to be on their own separate team if they keep up the trend for Chaos units that they did with Zora, right? So I think that's pretty much how it's going to be. I don't know. Like, I'm starting to think, I don't know what they're going to do with Finral, but I'm a bit scared with what they do, because, Gray wants to be used on like a mono quote-unquote team, so I hope that's not the same for Finral. So we're going to have to see how exactly that looks. But I really think that once we see Vanessa, we're going to get also probably some leaks and start seeing like what exactly is going on with everything. But definitely start thinking, what type of team do you want to build? Okay, what investment? Like, stick to one team right now. Stick to one team, and then in the next month or so, we're probably going to switch a team. Okay, so we'll have to see how everything goes. But let me know, what team do you think you're going to be building down below? What team are you sticking with currently? Those are the 2 main things. Especially with Transcendence, you're more than likely not going to be able to get more than one team up in Season 10 for most free-to-plays, right? That's kind of how it's going to go. I used so much stamina, I had so much saved, but it still didn't go well. And obviously, we know there's a new main event and probably more coming, so you're probably going to want to use stamina for that. So level 125 isn't the only thing you're going to have to worry about. Plus, obviously, it's our first time getting an actual new unit alongside JP, so we don't know. Maybe they're going to bring other stuff. I don't know. Okay, there's a lot of variables right now. So I would say approaching with utmost caution, not summoning on Gray unless you're really planning on full sending mono red, which I don't think is the best case. I just don't. I really don't think it is really that good, especially because Finral and Vanessa seem to be units that might be opposing this team, all things considered. So like really right now, like if you want to stick with mono green just to like save up your pulls big time, or if you want to go with Valkyrie team, which is going to be a very good team upcoming, right? So yeah, all that good stuff. Just remember, Vanessa might have her own team or be good with Noel. Asta's probably going to be making completely new teams because it's an Asta, first of all. And then Yamy and Charlotte are most likely going to be ran together. Okay, she's a supporter, he's an attacker. Well, the new ones, obviously, the summer ones, which is going to be Season 11's seasonal. So all that, keep in mind, save up on resources, save your gold a little bit. We have 2 weeks to go, and yeah, bye-bye.